Deep in the heart of a sun-dappled meadow lived a little frog with big dreams. This meadow was a place of tranquility, where the gentle rustling of leaves and the soft hum of insects created a symphony of nature. The little frog, with his bright green skin and curious eyes, felt a deep connection to this serene environment. He spent his days watching the ox graze peacefully in the field. The ox, with his massive frame and calm demeanor, seemed like a giant to the little frog. Every movement the ox made was deliberate and powerful, a testament to his strength and grace. The ox was large and strong, his hooves drumming a steady rhythm against the earth. Each step he took left an imprint on the ground, a mark of his presence and power. The little frog could feel the vibrations through the soil, a reminder of the ox's might. The little frog admired the ox's strength. He marveled at the way the ox's muscles rippled under his skin, the way his horns curved majestically towards the sky. To the frog, the ox was the epitome of power and majesty. He wished he could be big and powerful too. The frog often found himself daydreaming about what it would be like to possess such strength. He imagined the respect and admiration he would receive from other animals in the meadow. He imagined himself pulling a plough, his muscles rippling as he worked. In his mind's eye, he saw himself standing tall and proud, his body strong and capable. The thought filled him with a sense of purpose and determination. "If only I were an ox," he sighed, his voice a whisper in the breeze. The wind carried his wish across the meadow, rustling the leaves and stirring the flowers. It was a quiet, heartfelt plea, born from a deep desire to be more than he was. The frog hopped closer to the ox, his heart filled with a mix of envy and admiration. He wanted to be near the source of his inspiration, to feel the presence of the creature he so deeply admired. Each hop brought him closer to his dream. He wanted to be just like the ox, respected for his size and strength. The frog believed that if he could somehow become like the ox, he would find the happiness and fulfillment he longed for. He yearned for the day when he could stand tall and proud, just like his idol. Little did he know, true power came in many forms. The meadow was home to countless creatures, each with their own unique strengths and abilities. The frog's journey of self-discovery was just beginning, and he would soon learn that greatness is not defined by size or strength alone. The ox, sensing the little frog's gaze, turned his massive head. His eyes, dark and wise, settled on the tiny creature. "Well, hello there, little frog," he rumbled, his voice deep and calming. "What brings you so close on this fine day?" The frog hesitated, unsure how to express his feelings. "Mr. Ox," he began timidly, "I wish I were big and strong like you. You make everything seem so effortless." He looked down at his own small body, a wave of sadness washing over him. The ox chuckled softly, a sound that rippled through the meadow. "Little frog," he said gently, "size isn't everything. True strength lies in being who you are meant to be." The frog tilted his head, confused. He didn't understand how being small could ever be better than being big. Seeing his confusion, the wise ox smiled. "Tell me, little frog," he said, "what can you do that I cannot?" The frog thought for a moment. "I can hop very high," he croaked, remembering the joy of leaping from lily pad to lily pad. He demonstrated, his powerful legs propelling him into the air. The ox watched, his head raised in amusement. "Indeed," he agreed. "With your strong legs you can reach heights I can only dream of." Encouraged, the frog continued, "And I can swim." He puffed out his chest, remembering the cool water flowing over his skin. "I can dive deep and explore the bottom of the pond." He closed his eyes, picturing the colorful fish and swaying reeds. "And," he added, his voice filled with pride, "I can sing." He took a deep breath and filled the meadow with a beautiful resonant croak. The sound echoed through the air, a melody unique to his kind. The ox listened patiently, appreciating the frog's enthusiasm. "You see, little frog," he said when the song ended, "you have so much to offer the world. Your size does not define you." The frog blinked, his perspective shifting. The ox was right. He had never thought of his abilities as special before. He had been so focused on being big that he had overlooked his own unique strengths. "We are all different," the ox continued, his voice gentle but firm. "But that's what makes the world so interesting. Imagine if everyone were the same. It would be a very boring place indeed." The frog nodded slowly, beginning to understand. Being different wasn't a bad thing. In fact, it was something to be celebrated. The ox lowered his head, his warm breath tickling the frog's skin. The frog looked up, his eyes wide with curiosity and a hint of apprehension. He had always admired the ox from afar, marveling at his strength and size. But now, as the ox's gentle eyes met his, he felt a strange sense of calm wash over him. "You, little frog, are small and agile." The ox's voice was deep and resonant, carrying a wisdom that seemed to echo through the meadow. The frog blinked, processing the ox's words. He had never thought of himself as agile, just small and insignificant. "You can navigate the world in ways I never could," the ox continued, his tone filled with admiration. The frog thought about the narrow paths he could slip through, the tiny spaces he could explore. He realized that his small size was not a limitation, but a unique advantage. "You can reach places I can't even see." The ox's words painted vivid images in the frog's mind. He imagined the vast world from his tiny perspective, filled with hidden nooks and crannies that the ox could never access. It was a world that was uniquely his to explore. "And your song," he added, a hint of a smile in his voice, "is a gift to all who hear it." The frog's croak, which he had always thought of as just noise, suddenly felt like a beautiful melody. He croaked again, this time with pride, feeling the vibrations resonate through his small body. The frog's heart swelled with pride. He had never seen himself in this light before. The ox's words had opened his eyes to his own strengths and abilities. He felt a newfound confidence bubbling up inside him. For the first time, he saw himself through the ox's eyes. The reflection in the water showed a small but determined creature, ready to take on the world. He looked up at the ox, gratitude shining in his eyes. He was small, yes, but he was also strong and capable. The frog realized that his size did not define his worth. He had his own unique strengths that made him special. He felt a surge of determination to embrace his abilities and make the most of them. He had a purpose, just like the ox. The meadow was a place where every creature, big or small, had a role to play. The frog understood that he was an important part of this vibrant ecosystem. He felt a deep connection to the world around him. The meadow seemed to shimmer around him, the colors brighter, the air sweeter. The frog took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the sun on his skin. The world felt more alive, more beautiful than ever before. He was seeing it with new eyes, filled with wonder and appreciation. He felt a surge of gratitude for the wise ox and his kind words. The frog knew that he would carry this moment with him forever. It was a turning point, a new beginning. He looked up at the ox, his heart full of thanks, and croaked a song of joy and gratitude. The frog took a deep breath, his lungs filling with the scent of wildflowers and sunshine. He leapt onto a nearby lily pad, his heart light with newfound confidence. He realized that being small allowed him to experience the world in a completely different way. He could hide among the reeds, watching dragonflies dance in the sunlight. He could squeeze through tiny spaces, discovering secret worlds hidden from larger creatures. And he could sing his heart out, his voice echoing through the stillness of the pond. The frog closed his eyes, a wave of contentment washing over him. He was happy to be small, to be a frog. He had a place in the world just as he was. The ox watched the frog, a knowing glint in his eyes. He had seen this transformation many times before. He knew that true happiness came from accepting oneself, from embracing one's unique gifts. "Remember, little frog," he rumbled, his voice a comforting presence in the meadow, "your size does not define you. Your strength lies in being you. Sing your song, hop your hop, and never be afraid to shine your light." The frog nodded, his heart filled with gratitude. He had learned a valuable lesson today, a lesson he would carry with him always. From that day forward, the little frog embraced his size. He no longer saw himself as small and insignificant, but as a unique and vital part of the meadow's vibrant tapestry. Each morning he would wake up with a renewed sense of purpose, ready to face the day with courage and joy. He hopped with even more enthusiasm, his croaks filled with joy. The meadow seemed to respond to his newfound energy, with flowers blooming brighter and the grass swaying more rhythmically. His presence was a melody that added to the symphony of life around him. He explored every nook and cranny of the meadow, his heart overflowing with wonder. Each corner held a new adventure, a new discovery. He marveled at the intricate patterns on the petals of wildflowers and the gentle hum of bees collecting nectar. The meadow was a world of endless possibilities. He had learned that true power came not from size, but from being true to oneself. In moments of quiet reflection, he would sit by the pond watching his own reflection ripple in the water. He understood that his strength lay in his authenticity, in his ability to be himself without fear or doubt. And in that truth, he found a happiness more profound than he could have ever imagined. The sun's rays felt warmer, the breeze gentler, and the songs of the birds sweeter. His heart was light, and his spirit soared. He had found his place in the world, and it was perfect. And so the little frog and the wise ox continued to share the meadow, each celebrating their unique strengths. The ox, with his vast knowledge and gentle demeanor, and the frog, with his boundless energy and joyful spirit, complemented each other perfectly. They were an unlikely pair, but their bond was unbreakable. Their friendship was a testament to the beauty of diversity. They showed that differences could be a source of strength, not division. The other animals in the meadow looked up to them, inspired by their harmony and mutual respect. They had created a community where everyone felt valued and loved, for in the heart of the meadow, under the warm embrace of the sun, they had discovered a truth that would forever bind them. It was a truth that transcended words, a feeling of unity and belonging that could only be felt. They knew that they were part of something greater, a beautiful mosaic of life. Everyone has a song to sing, a role to play, and a light to shine. The meadow was a reminder that every creature, no matter how small, had a purpose. It was a place where dreams took flight and where the spirit of togetherness thrived. And so, the little frog and his friends lived happily, their hearts forever intertwined with the wisdom of the meadow.